The Young and the Restless scoop for Tuesday, September 23rd, reveals Kyle Abbott will tell Audra Charles, no one cares what happens to her. Also, coming up on Restaurant Talk, Sally Spectra will suggest Audra apologize. Plus, Claire Newman will turn down Holden Novak's offer to go to LA. And Victoria Newman will listen to Kyle whine about her daughter. Whinier spoilers tease Claire will be surprised to see Holden at Crimson Lights. She thought he'd be in LA by now, but he'll say his flight was delayed until tomorrow. Claire will confide in Holden that she's hurting, so he'll ask where she and Kyle are at. We're trying to get past this, but I think Kyle might be trying too hard, she'll reply. Holden will suggest she step back and get some perspective. If you want some distance, how does 2,000 miles sound? Then he'll ask Claire to go with him to LA. Holden will add he's only asking as a friend. She'll mention what he said at the park the other night. He'll admit he finds her incredibly attractive. Holden will add he hopes he didn't make her feel uncomfortable. Claire will say he's not. I just was not expecting this. So, Holden will ask if she'll consider his offer. Claire will tell him it sounds tempting. But she'll say as much as it sounds fun, she can't go with him. Because no one, including viewers, should have any fun on this snooze fest. Meanwhile, Kyle will buy Victoria a drink at Society. She'll ask how things are going with Claire, and he'll admit, no matter what he says, he makes things worse. Kyle will continuing droning on and on about Claire, and he'll ask Victoria what she thinks. She's conflicted, Victoria will say. You have made some poor choices. Then Kyle will start bad-mouthing Victor Newman. But Victoria will say her father wanted to put his love for Claire to the test. I was protecting Claire by not telling her about the deal with Victor and the kiss with Audra, he'll moan. Victoria will tell him protecting someone from the truth is a lie. You need to get out of your head and start following your heart. However, Kyle will say he feels like Claire is looking for reasons for this not to work. Then Claire and Holden will walk in. Kyle will look over and make a sour face. He'll ask Claire if they can talk, but she'll say she needs to discuss something with her mom. So Kyle will leave, and Holden will introduce himself to Victoria, and then he'll sit at the bar, waiting for takeout. Being with Kyle used to make me feel so good, but now when I see him, I want to run away, Claire will tell her mom. Plus, she feels like someone else might be getting under her skin. Victoria will glance over at Holden. He is a very attractive and charming man, Victoria will say, smirking. Claire will tell her Holden's so easy with himself and with her. Maybe I'm just not ready for a serious relationship, she'll add. Maybe I need to live a little before I commit to one person for the rest of my life. At the jazz club, Sally will tell Audra about Billy Abbott's action, which lead to the end of Abbott Communications. There's no way to fix this, Sally will add. Audra will say she's lost jobs before, but this is a new record. Losing it before I even really started. Audra will ask if Billy gave her a reason. Sally will say he thinks he's doing it for them, but he's still obsessed with getting Chancellor back. How was I so stupid? I know who Billy is. Why did I think it would be different with me? She'll add. I gave up everything for him. Everything's crashed and burned and I have nothing. So Sally will suggest they team up. They're both creative and can figure it out. They'll do some brainstorming and then Kyle will walk in and sit at the bar. Audra will say to Sally she didn't just ruin her own life. Thanks to her ambition, she ruined Kyle's too. Sally will suggest she should tell him that. It wouldn't hurt to say you're sorry. But when Kyle approaches them, she'll do the opposite. Audra will mention he's alone and suggest that Claire dumped him. Maybe she's off having a Vesper with someone else. Finally, their argument will get loud until Sally quiets them down. I may be alone tonight, Kyle will tell Audra, but you're going to be alone the rest of your life. He'll add that no one needs her. No one wants you. No one cares what happens to you. Keep reading The Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our YNR Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Lily Winters may catch Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers' passion as this triangle finally blows up. In our fall preview, spoilers indeed call this a triangle and highlight Phyllis's attraction to the Aristotle Dumas side of Kane. There's obviously some part of Kane that's clinging to that version of himself, and Phyllis is always there to egg him on. Phyllis feels like Kane needs to ditch his dream of getting back together with Lily and concentrate on his quest for Genoa City domination instead. Of course, Phyllis may also want Kane for herself, considering all the compliments she gives out. Kane and Phyllis's usual banter could also be considered mutual flirting, so it's easy to see how these two might mix business with pleasure at some point. After Kane invited Phyllis out to dinner at Society recently, they bumped into Tracy Abbott while they were there. Kane wanted his friendship with Tracy to become a romance once upon a time, so their interaction was a warm reflection of that. Phyllis was definitely unsettled over the connection between them and even seemed a bit jealous of Kane giving Tracy attention. That's just further proof that Phyllis wants Kane's focus to be on her and not any other woman. Deep down, Phyllis may hope to become the ultimate power couple with Kane. Perhaps after they conquer all their goals, Phyllis thinks she can become the new queen of Kane's heart and make him forget all about Lily, Tracy, or anyone else. Whatever the case, Phyllis will continue to tempt the Dumas side of Kane and could potentially lure him into bed sooner or later. That could lead to trouble if Lily ends up catching Kane and Phyllis in a moment of passion. Even just witnessing a kiss between Phyllis and Kane would be a huge turnoff for Lily, though spotting a stripped-down passionate encounter would certainly make things worse. Phyllis has a knack for causing setbacks for Kane and Lily, so is she on the verge of causing another one? The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis will remain a pot stirrer, so we'll bring you updates on any bad news that she might cause for Kane's Lily reunion mission. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, September 24th, reveal that Billy Abbott will face 2 payback obstacles while Michael Baldwin hits a risky roadblock. Some tense moments are coming up in Genoa City, so let's discuss all the hostility ahead. For starters, Billy will deal with a couple of hurdles when it comes to his vengeful Kane Ashby plans. Those 2 hurdles will be Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott, since they'll try to stop Billy from spiraling out of control. When Billy gets in payback mode, he tends to make impulsive, dangerous moves. That's why Diane and Jack will work to dial Billy down on Wednesday's show and push him to be smarter about all this. Of course, Billy may get frustrated if he feels like Jack and Diane are standing in his way. It's clear that Billy has totally turned against Kane at this point, so he may vow to take Kane down himself if Jack won't help. However, Jack will have a few tricks in store for Kane in the coming episodes. One of those could involve an alliance with Victor Newman, but Billy may not be too happy about that plan. In the meantime, Kyle Abbott will continue to let Audra Charles get under his skin. As they hurl more insults and threats, the conflict between Audra and Kyle will really boil over. Other Y&R spoilers say Michael will find himself backed into a difficult corner. That's because Lauren Fenmore Baldwin will confront Michael with her suspicions and push for the truth about whether Victor has dragged him back into trouble. It looks like Michael may be forced to admit he's indeed tangled up in a new Victor-related scheme. Michael accepted Kane's job offer and is now reporting back to Victor with any valuable intel he learns. Lauren will be furious over Michael's updates and will eventually decide to take drastic action. Could Lauren go as far as spilling all this news to Kane and blowing up Victor's sneaky plan in the process? The Young and the Restless spoilers say Lauren will make some messes for Michael at some point, so stay tuned. Tessa is happy to bump into Daniel at Crimson Lights. He tells her that Mariah reached out and asked him to look after her and Arya. It sounded like she thought she wouldn't be coming back. Tessa's not surprised that he got that impression. Daniel asks if she ever found out what happened and is shocked to hear that Mariah told her she tried to kill someone and then bolted. Tessa wonders if Ian Ward triggered something. If so, she and Arya might be better off without her. Tessa remembers how wonderful and kind Mariah is, which was no small feat given her early life. Daniel says she seemed to be in pain at the thought of her wife and child suffering. Assuming that something must have happened on Mariah's business trip, Tessa asks him what she should do. Daniel doesn't want to overstep or take sides. Tessa jokes that he should take her side. Announcing that she can't leave Mariah to suffer alone, she decides she'll get to the bottom of this by visiting the hotel where her wife stayed. Daniel offers to go along for support, which makes her smile. At the Abbott manse, Jack is thrilled to see Tracy back. She says she's preparing to go meet Amy, and a discussion about Damien's death quickly turns to Kane. Jack warns he's very different as they recall how close she and Ashby once were. He even inspired one of her books. Tracy recaps that it almost became more than friendship, but they haven't spoken since she turned him down. She then tells her brother about her fabulous therapist. She's learned that she's a good person. Talk turns to Billy scheming to get Chancellor and pushing Jack out of Abbott Communications. Jack worries their brother is about to make a mistake that could land him in prison. It's like he's gambling again. Tracy can't believe no one can reason with Billy. He's turned his back on everyone and is headed for a crash. On the Kane train, Billy demands to know why he's out. Kane says there are too many variables. Billy assumes he means he's chaotic, which makes no sense since he's kept Phyllis. Ashby urges him to go home and look after Sally. He shouldn't lose her over a deal. Billy complains that he's lost everything and Kane owes him. All of this anger is only proving to Kane that he can't handle things, who can't even be bothered to argue with Billy. Out of options, Billy warns that he knows a hell of a lot about Kane, who won't like what comes next. After he's gone, Kane orders Michael to fix this. Phyllis is sure Billy will cool off, but Kane wants him contained immediately. Michael trudges off to fulfill his first assignment. Phyllis tells Kane he did the right thing by cutting Billy loose. He asks why there is still a rift between her and Michael. They rehash Michael defending Sharon, and Kane tells her to let it go. He observes that she demands strict loyalty, but would throw anyone under the bus to get what she wants. She knows that's a contradiction. It's also what they have in common. They are survivors. Moving closer and looking into Phyllis's eyes, Kane asks if she wants to call it a night. She says no. She's hungry. He asks if she has dinner plans. Meeting the moment, she immediately replies, "I do now." Liking what he hears, Ashby simply says, "Good." Michael catches up to Billy at Society, where he's drinking at the bar. Billy complains that Kane screwed him over and cast him out, so he wants to blow up his master plan. When Michael warns he's teetering on the brink, Billy suggests the lawyer get out while he still can. It isn't worth risking his life for Kane's dangerous scheme. Kane has a new enemy, and he's not going to like what I have planned for him next, Billy says, gulping down his drink and taking off. Tracy walks in, and Michael is happy to see her. She came for dinner, but Amy had to cancel. He says Billy was just there. She wonders if she should be worried. Kane and Phyllis enter and spot them. They walk over, and Tracy is in shock to see Kane again. They hug, and Michael announces he has to run after receiving a text from Lauren. Kane chases Michael down outside and reminds him he needs their problem controlled. Michael admits it's slippery, but he will handle it. Inside, Tracy and Phyllis catch up before the redhead gingerly broaches the topic of Martin. It turns out they're both still having nightmares. Phyllis assures the Abbott that none of this was her fault and that she's a good person. Tracy wishes the redhead's toughness would rub off on her. When Phyllis asks about the book she's working on, Tracy is cagey, but promises she will get the first copy. They toast to the future as Kane returns. He soon has Tracy in giggles as he cuddles her and tells her how often he's thought of her. Tracy tells him she's thought about him too. Phyllis wears a comical expression as she takes in the exchange. Back at the Abbott manse, Diane and Jack are still worrying about Billy, who stumbles in and announces that he wants to make a deal with his brother. Billy finally sees the danger Kane can cause. They need to stop the bastard in his tracks, and they can do that together. Does The Young and the Restless have another budding director on its hands? Michelle Stafford, who plays Phyllis, is sharing her directorial skills with videos she's shot to honor her TV son, Michael Graziadei, on his birthday. It's Graziadei's special day, and in his honor, the actor's TV mom presented a video featuring some backstage moments with the actor on her social media account. In honor of the Graz's birthday, I give you the best of the Graz's happy birthday. Mashed Schweier. At good grief, Charlie Brown, Stafford posted. The birthday boy was touched by his co-star's gesture. I'm not crying. You're crying. Love you, Mom. Stafford captured a variety of backstage scenes with Graziadei and other Y&R pals. Viewers can see a scene with Stafford, Graziadei, and Alison Lanier running lines in a dressing room. Then, the video jumps to a holiday-themed episode, as there is a Christmas tree in the background. Graziadei and Stafford debate whether it's preferable to go to a wedding or have a snowball fight. The birthday boy's response? A snowball fight! Also included in Stafford's video tribute to Graziadei is the two of them and Lily Brooks O'Brien on the balcony of the TV City studio where Y&R tapes. Then, we see Stafford posing for a photo with Graziadei and Lanier. Next is Stafford and Graziadei getting a coffee at Erewhon, a local health food market. We also see Graziadei, Stafford, and Brittany Sarpy walking in the TV City parking lot. You can hear Stafford tell Sarpy that she won't be posting the video for a while. Stafford also got out her phone when she, Lanier, Graziadei, and Connor Floyd were shooting a scene in the hospital after Phyllis was in a car accident last year, following Devin and Abby's wedding. The mini-movie also includes footage of a real-life birthday celebration in which Graziadei is presented with his birthday cake. On Tuesday, September 23rd episode of CBS's newest podcast, Soapy, hosted by Rebecca Budig and Greg Rickhart, welcomes Melody Thomas Scott to their show. Of course, the genre legacy is also known as Nikki Newman to fans of The Young and the Restless. Can't wait till tomorrow? No problem, we've got the exclusive preview. In an exclusive clip of next week's episode of the CBS podcast, Soapy hosted by Rebecca Budig and Greg Rickhart, legendary soap star Melody Thomas Scott joins the host to talk about her career in television and film, including, of course, The Young and the Restless. The Y&R actress tells a fascinating story about how she almost got an incredible break at a very young age. Almost, because she got the offer and shrugged it off. Knowing that one of Thomas Scott's biggest idols was Lucille Ball, he wondered if she ever got to meet the iconic comedian. We never did, Thomas Scott shares. However, she came close. Thomas Scott recalls going to a hot dog stand behind the old Sears Roebuck in LA when she was 6 years old with her grandmother. A man with a Desilu ball cap had come in, and in conversation, her grandma told him that Thomas Scott was a working kid in the industry. It turned out that he was a talent scout who approached Thomas Scott and talked to her for a little while. Thomas Scott remembers being quite blasé about the whole thing, but then the man asked, "How would you like to work with Lucille Ball?" Even though she was a Lucille Ball fan at 6 years old, she inexplicably replied, "No thank you." With that, she walked away with her hot dog, and to this day has no idea what she was thinking at the time, or what she passed up. Soapy is a new audio and video podcast that dives deep into the legacy, fandom, and enduring appeal of soap operas, hosted by daytime veterans Rebecca Budig and Greg Rickhart. Soapy features lively, nostalgic conversations with beloved past and present stars and creatives from across the entire soap opera community and all networks and platforms, including daytime and primetime. As young and restless Mariah takes off to seek help with her deep, dark secret, TM, she's all but paved the way for Daniel to get together with Tessa. Mariah even asked him to look after her wife and daughter. But of course, his fondness for Tessa goes beyond friendship. The singer leaves him humming one love song after another. Though Taraya fans are sure to lose their bleep if Daniel and Tessa cross the line that separates friends from lovers, his portrayer hopes that even they may be brought on board. It feels like, with the connection that these two people are having, Michael Graziadei tells Soap Opera Digest, that the audience is going to be rooting for them to get together. And honestly, the chemistry between Graziadei and leading lady Kate Fairbanks is pretty irresistible. We noticed it as far back as when he was bending her ear at Society, long before she ever started teaching him how to play the guitar, and their relationship intensified. Graziadei, of course, is aware that Taraya shippers will be angry that he is coming between Aria's moms. The triangle promises to inject into their storyline something that's often been missing: drama. But viewers tend to take it poorly when anyone or anything messes with their favorite couples. "I would just like any fans who are mad at me," the actor says, "to just kindly remember that I'm not writing it." Of course. As a journalist covering The Young and the Restless, here is a rewritten version of the provided spoilers, crafted for a dramatic, engaging tone. Genoa City, UI. In the hallowed halls of Newman Enterprises, loyalty is the currency that buys survival, and for decades, Michael Baldwin has been the family's most trusted guardian. His role has always been clear: protect the legacy Victor Newman built from the charlatans and opportunists who flock to its power. But his latest investigation has unearthed a betrayal so venomous it threatens to poison the very heart of the dynasty. The source of this poison is Claire, the young woman who arrived in town as a miracle. Victoria Newman's long-lost daughter, returned by a twist of fate. She was welcomed with open arms, filling a void in Victoria's soul and quickly securing a life of luxury and influence. But as she flaunted her newfound status, particularly in a scandalous romance with Kyle Abbott, whispers of doubt echoed through Genoa City's elite. To Michael, these whispers were a warning siren. While the Newmans celebrated their reunion, Michael saw only inconsistencies in Claire's picture-perfect story. Driven by a protective instinct forged over years of service, he embarked on a relentless, clandestine investigation to uncover the truth. His diligence paid off with 2 pieces of irrefutable, dynasty-shattering evidence: DNA results that proved Claire was an imposter, and a chilling will left by the late Cole Howard. The moment Michael presented his findings to Victoria was as devastating as it was inevitable. The DNA results were a cold, scientific dagger to the heart, confirming her cherished daughter was a fraud. Her world of newfound maternal bliss shattered into a million pieces. But it was Cole's will that transformed her grief into a cold, terrifying fury. It was more than legal proof. It was a haunting warning from beyond the grave. Cole, the man she once loved, had used his final words to caution her against Claire, revealing he suspected the young woman's dangerous nature. The horrifying question began to form in Victoria's mind. Was Claire's deception merely opportunistic, or was it rooted in something far more sinister? Did she poison Cole to silence him and pave her way into their lives? As Victoria grapples with this monstrous possibility, her sorrow is calcifying into resolve. The tears of a victim are gone, replaced by the icy determination of a Newman matriarch bent on vengeance. She now understands that this was not a simple con. It was a calculated infiltration that may have ended in murder. Meanwhile, Claire continues to bask in her stolen glory, blissfully unaware that her fairy tale is about to become a nightmare. She believes she has won, securing her place in Genoa City's most powerful family. She has no idea that the woman she called mother is now armed with the truth, fueled by rage, and honoring the last wish of a dead man. The stage is set for a confrontation that will rock Genoa City to its core. For Claire, the curtain is about to fall, and the wrath of a betrayed Newman is a storm she will not survive. The winds of change are sweeping through Genoa City, and according to The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Tuesday, September 23rd, the city's power players are preparing for a new kind of game, one fought with strategy, ambition, and unexpected alliances. It begins far from the boardroom. In the back room of an upscale bar, Sally and Audra quietly map out a bold new strategy. Together, they form a formidable partnership, Sally with her vision for branding and storytelling, Audra with her sharp financial instincts and calculated business moves. Their plan isn't about winning a single contract or poaching talent, it's about reshaping the market itself. From reviving a forgotten fashion brand to manipulating distribution channels and orchestrating media narratives, Sally and Audra intend to set the rhythm of Genoa City's next corporate chapter. While they plot in the shadows, Claire receives a mysterious envelope from Holden, a name with a questionable past but intriguing possibilities. His offer? Access to a network of experts and an advisory fund aimed at restoring public trust. For Claire, this is more than a career move. It's an invitation to wield moral authority in a city tired of flashy rebrands and broken promises. But the risk is clear. By stepping into Holden's world, Claire risks becoming both a beacon of credibility and a target for those who thrive in the city's gray areas. Meanwhile, Victoria inserts herself into Kyle's orbit. Her intervention, though cloaked as guidance, is both protective and strategic. She offers Kyle a semi-independent role, an experimental space where he can explore bold ideas without fracturing his family ties. But Kyle knows better than to accept Victoria's help blindly. He insists on boundaries, transparency, accountability, and ethical safeguards. If he's going to play the game, he'll do it on his own terms. As Claire weighs Holden's offer, she lays down strict conditions: real-time data transparency, independent oversight, and social impact metrics alongside financial ones. Holden, surprisingly, accepts. Still, old power players strike back with leaked documents designed to discredit the project. Claire, however, turns the tables by making the process open and accessible, proving that transparency can be both a shield and a weapon. At the same time, Sally and Audra's media campaign begins to shape public perception. Data is tied to human stories, jobs created, scholarships awarded, opportunities expanded, making it harder for critics to dismiss their movement as mere spin. Kyle steps into his role as a bridge between family, business, and community, while Claire strengthens her position as a watchdog for accountability. Victoria, in a rare retreat, allows others to take the wheel, knowing her influence is still woven into the fabric of events. No one in Genoa City emerges as the clear winner. Yet something new has been born, a fragile but real alliance built on transparency, ambition, and unexpected trust. Sally and Audra prove that ambition can thrive in the light. Claire shows that ethics can be actionable, and Kyle demonstrates that family and independence don't have to collide. For Genoa City, the story is far from over. Holden's motives remain murky, rival factions are poised to fight back, and the next envelope could change everything again. But for now, the city has something it hasn't had in a long time: a chance to move forward with a common story. The shriek of tires, the bloom of airbag smoke, and the eerie hush that follows disaster have silenced Genoa City's most volatile voice. In the flashing glare of emergency lights, Billy Abbott, the franchise's narrative sparkplug, lies motionless, his future hanging by a thread. As news of the crash rips through town, the question on everyone's lips is not just how this happened, but who might have made it happen. Was this a tragic accident or a cold-blooded attempt on his life? Billy has always been Genoa City's indispensable paradox. He's a gambler by temperament, capable of reading a room for weakness and opportunity in the same heartbeat. This instinct has delivered as many triumphs as it has disasters, making him a perennial agent of chaos, whose impulsive decisions have often served as the show's engine. He is the character who oxygenates a stale boardroom, detonates a romantic complication, and forces the powerful to confront truths they would rather ignore. Inevitably, suspicion swivels toward the town's two gravitational poles of power and grudge. The first and most obvious name whispered is Victor Newman. In Genoa City, any chaos that weakens an abbot is seen as a potential opportunity for the Newman patriarch. Victor has built an empire on the premise that instability in rival houses is an exploitable resource. While a violent car crash seems uncharacteristically crude for the master strategist, no one would put it past him if Billy threatened his family or empire in a way that couldn't be countered by a simple corporate stroke. The other primary suspect is Kane Ashby. The history between the two men is lined with contested victories and grudges that never truly fade. For many viewers, pinning the crash on Kane would be a satisfyingly neat conclusion to their long and bitter rivalry. Yet, as Kane vehemently denies any involvement, a richer narrative challenge emerges. If he's innocent, who else benefits from a Billy-less world? The fallout extends far beyond the crash site, sending shockwaves of grief and blame through the Abbott family. For Jack, it's a test of his role as patriarch, helpless to protect his brother. For Lily Winters and Victoria Newman, the tragedy dredges up a complicated history of love, chaos, and the painful recognition of Billy's self-destructive cycles. Fueling the fire are persistent rumors about actor Jason Thompson's potential departure. This behind-the-scenes uncertainty forces fans to brace for the unthinkable. Will the show opt for the finality of death? The drawn-out drama of a coma? Or the classic soap trope of a presumed death, leaving the door open for a shocking return years down the line? Ultimately, Billy Abbott's fate is a referendum on the very soul of the young and the restless. To remove him is not just to lose a foil for Victor or a brother for Jack. It is to remove the show's primary pressure valve. He is the character built not just to be a hero or villain, but to keep everyone else honest. Whether he lives, dies, or simply disappears into the night, one thing is certain: the map of Genoa City has been irrevocably changed. Young and the Restless. 2-week spoilers for Sept 22, Octo 3, 2025, reveal Kane Ashby's cutting ties, and Jill Abbott returns to Genoa City. On Monday, September 22nd, Daniel Romalotti fills Tessa Porter in about his meeting with Mariah Copeland. Mariah asked Daniel to look after Tessa Porter and Aria Porter Copeland while she's gone to Boston. Daniel mentioned that it sounded like Mariah might not come back. Tessa then tells Daniel that Mariah confessed to trying to kill an old dude. Daniel wants to know if it was self-defense. Meanwhile, Billy Abbott is yelling at Kane about how Phyllis Summers and Michael Baldwin are still on the team, but Billy was cut. Phyllis hurls some insults, and Kane tells Billy he's too emotional, which Billy roves by storming out. On Kane's orders, Michael tries to sway Billy to stop his temper tantrum and focus on Sally Spectra and the good things in his life. Billy, of course, won't be swayed and says Kane will find out what's coming because he's made an enemy out of Billy. Tracy Abbott shows up, and Michael and Tracy discuss Kane's return and Billy's downward spiral. Tessa tells Daniel she thinks Ian Ward's return set Mariah off. The way Mariah described what happened with the old guy didn't seem like self-defense to Tessa. It seemed like an attack. Tessa Porter, who loves Mariah, wants to get to the bottom of this and tells Daniel she's going to find answers. Daniel offers to help, so he will join her. Phyllis tells Kane it was a smart move to get rid of Billy. She gets excited when Kane asks her out to dinner. He does ask if she and Michael made up. They seem flirty, but that might just be Kane being Kane, while Phyllis seems to be swooning a little. They head over to Society and run into Michael and Tracy. Michael leaves, and Kane follows him out to ask if he handled the Billy problem. Tracy is shocked to learn Kane is Dumas. They were close before he left 6 years ago, with a bit of a flirtation going on. Jack Abbott tells Tracy that Kane has changed a lot. He also tells Tracy that Billy Abbott is back to risk-taking and is planning to join forces with Kane. Jack says Billy is turning his back on everybody and is out of control. Later, Tracy and Phyllis rehash the whole Martin Laurent ordeal, talking about how they both still have nightmares about it. Tracy and Phyllis are bonding. They also discuss the book Tracy is writing about it. Kane joins them and has a chat with Tracy. Phyllis doesn't like this because Kane and Tracy had an attraction. It looks like Phyllis wants Kane all to herself. Billy runs over to the Abbott mansion to see Jack and Diane Jenkins, saying he wants to make a deal. Billy asks Jack to help him take down Kane, stating he needs to be stopped because of his AI program, or he'll take over every company and everybody. On Tuesday, September 23rd, Sally tells Audra Charles that things have crashed and burned with AbbottCom. Billy blew everything up before it ever got off the ground. Sally and Audra Charles ponder their next moves, needing jobs and something to focus on. Claire Grace Newman gets an intriguing invitation. Holden Novak asks Claire to go to LA with him. He needs to sell some real estate there for Kane. Afterward, he's packing up his stuff and completely relocating to Genoa City. Claire might consider going, but Kyle Abbott won't like that. Victoria Newman gives Kyle some advice on Tuesday, likely telling him to back off and let Claire breathe before she walks away from him for good. Wednesday, September 24th, Lauren Fenmore gets very firm with her hubby Michael on Young and the Restless. Lauren isn't a fool and knows Michael is fibbing and hiding something. She's worried he's gone back to Victor Newman. It's unclear how much Michael will tell her, but he's likely not working for Victor directly, but rather for Kane and spying for Victor. None of it sounds good. Jack and Diane try to rein Billy in, possibly wanting him to slow down on his Kane revenge plot. Kyle talks to his dad, Jack, looking annoyed, likely about Claire and her potential trip to LA. Audra is in Kyle's face, pushing his buttons on Wednesday. On Thursday, September 25th, Victor comes to Kane with an offer he can't refuse, asking if he's in or out. Kane says he'll think about it, but Victor insists that if he doesn't agree before he walks off the train, the deal is over. Victor wants Damien to use his AI to take down Jabot. Jack has an ace up his sleeve, some kind of secret weapon. Jess Walton is back as Jill, and it's wondered if Jack is the one who brings Jill back to town to deal with her fake son Kane and her real son Billy, getting them to stop causing problems for Jack and everyone else. Billy is pressing Sally, and she's forced to make a hard choice late next week, possibly deciding she's done with him. On Friday, September 26th, Victor considers a truce with Jack and Nikki. Newman gets some shocking news. If they make a truce, that will obviously shock her. Alternatively, it could be Claire telling her she's going to LA with Holden. Kane cuts off one of his allies. He's already gotten rid of Billy, so who's next? Perhaps Michael. If Kane realizes he's spying, the week of September 29th through October 3rd, Kane makes a big decision. He has to deal with Victor Deal, Billy looking for revenge, and Jill returning to town. Victor and Jack may play nice, but it's unlikely to last long. Sally needs to move forward with her life, needing a job and a man she can rely on. Billy has messed up in both departments, so they may be done. Kyle fears the worst if Claire takes Holden up on his offer to go to LA. Kyle may assume he has lost Claire, and if he does, Audra might get her claws back into him. Michael has to deal with Lauren's wrath and suspicions. She is not happy at all. More wedding planning is ahead, as Christine Cricket Blair and Danny Romalotti's wedding is in October. Jill returns to clean up the mess her sons have made of Genoa City. Phyllis is trying to get Kane to warm up to her. Tamara Braun and Roger Howarth are debuting in their new Y&R roles in October, though their air dates aren't set yet. Matt Cohen, playing a cop in LA, has an air date. All three of them were big characters on General Hospital, and Tamara Braun played two characters. The Young and the Restless scoop for the week of September 22nd reveals Victor Newman will consider a previously unthinkable move. Also coming up, Billy Abbott will force Sally Spectra's hand. Plus, Lauren Fenmore will demand answers from Michael Baldwin, and Audra Charles will taunt Kyle Abbott. Y&R spoilers tease Sally, and Audra will discuss their next move, now that Abbott Communications is dead in the water. Sally will tell her friend Billy decided something else was more important. However, what will the two gal pals do about it? Perhaps they'll decide to start their own company. Regardless, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins will attempt to rein in Billy. Then he'll turn around and put the pressure on Sally. Billy will ask if she wants to continue their relationship. But will Sally finally dump him? As for Audra, she's got nothing left to lose. Her new job is kaput. Vibrante is finished, and her relationship with Nate Hastings is over. So when she runs into Kyle, she'll do everything she can to push his buttons. But will he push back? Meanwhile, Lauren knows Michael is up to something. She suspects he's gone back to working for Victor and is keeping it from her. However, when she stands her ground with her husband, will he admit that he's spying on Kane Ashby for the mustache? Other Y&R spoilers tease Kane will end an alliance with someone. Plus, Holden Novak will suggest Claire Newman accompany him to LA. And Tracy Abbott will catch up with some old friends. Finally, Victor will give Kane an ultimatum. He wants to ally with the billionaire to destroy Jabot and Jack. But Kane will refuse. Then later in the week, Victor will contemplate calling a truce with Jack to team up against Kane. Y&R spoilers indicate Nikki Newman will get some surprising news. As viewers know, she suggested to her husband that he make peace with Jack, so the two of them can combat what Kane is planning. So, will Victor tell Nikki he's thinking about calling a ceasefire with Jack? Hey Y&R fans! Are you enjoying the new CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news, and make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Y&R fans have just 24 hours left to choose Cricket's wedding gown, and the only way to vote is on Instagram stories. The Young and the Restless is giving fans the power to make a once-in-a-lifetime choice. After decades of following Christine Cricket Blair's journey in Genoa City, viewers now get to decide which gown she will wear when she marries Danny Romalotti this November. The dress poll launched Friday with 3 gowns in the running. Now, only 2 remain. Voting is happening exclusively on Y&R's official Instagram account through Instagram Stories. Fans have just 24 hours to cast their ballots, and the poll officially closes Tuesday at 9 a.m. PT, 12 p.m. ET. It's important to note that votes left in the comments on Instagram posts, or anywhere else, will not be counted. The only way to make your pick count is to head to the stories and click your choice. Whichever gown emerges victorious will be the one Cricket wears when she walks down the aisle in November. The episode date has yet to be announced, but Belle has already teased that the dresses are timeless and elegant, fitting for a bride who has lived so much life and love in Genoa City. Fans can also get a behind-the-scenes look at the gown fittings in a new video posted on Y&R's YouTube channel, which you can see below. This interactive twist highlights just how much Y&R values its fan base. Cricket and Danny's love story has spanned decades, and inviting viewers to help shape this next chapter makes the upcoming wedding even more special. Belle herself said the idea came from wanting to give back to the fans who have supported her character's journey since the 1980s. With voting closing soon, fans should act fast to make their voices heard. The winning gown will be revealed on screen when Cricket and Danny finally say "I do" later this fall, ensuring that viewers will feel like part of the celebration.